Hey, Breanna, good to see you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
I wanted to ask you, we spoke to Elena yesterday, and she talked about, just having the ability to train and be with you on the court. What does it mean to have some veteran presence like her? And, can you speak to the relationship that the two of you have?
Yeah, I mean, Elena and I, we have a great relationship. I think that, obviously having a ton of mutual respect for one another, having played USA basketball a lot together, and now knowing that as this team continues, we're going to be the leaders of the team because we're the ones that have been through this before and getting ready to prepare for another World Cup.
And then I noticed one of your teammates is also here, Jewell Loyd. What does it mean to have her come back for another year with Seattle, her and Sue as well?
I think it's great. I'm excited to see what's in store this year for Seattle. I'm excited to kind of be back in Key, which is now Climate Pledge. The fans in the city of Seattle is really, they're really into women's basketball, and to be like right in the center of it is going to be great for us. And it's just going to be exciting. We obviously didn't do what we wanted to last year. There was a lot of things that went on, but to have another opportunity to go after a championship is exactly what we want.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Jewell, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for doing this. So we just got done talking to Breanna, and she made a very good point. The Belgium and Puerto Rico team, they have familiarity with each other. You actually have played with Stewie. So what does it mean for your team to know that you have to kind of find that chemistry rather quickly, whereas these other teams have played together longer than all of you have?
Yeah, I think that's something we talked about from day one, is making sure that we understand that we have not the longest time to get to know each other, but how to make that go faster is to communicate. And that's what we've been doing in practice, is communicating with each other, understanding, where people like the ball, how fast people want the passes, things like that. So we're doing a great job of communicating. And today was actually really good at practice.
Speaking of practice, just wanted to get your feelings. What's the aura like? What's the environment playing with all these great women?
Anytime you're in an environment like this, with the history of USA basketball, and you have a lot of, I guess, some vets, a lot of young people, you have a lot of new people, the goal is the same, is to compete, have fun, enjoy the moment. We don't know what's going to, happen the next day. So for us, is to make sure every time we step on the court together that we're productive. And that's kind of been the vibe, and it's a lot of good energy.
Appreciate it, Jewell. Thank you. Ariel, I really appreciate your time. Eric Wilson. Just want a quick two-parter here. First one is, both Breanna and Jewell talked about Coach Reeves speaking about, the positive touches when it comes to this game. Can you just elaborate on some of that as far as what your experience is?
Yeah, the biggest thing is keeping your teammate spirits high, no matter how hard it gets. We're all pretty much, in my personal opinion, a new group kind of. So we've got to figure out each other. And I think positive touches, it could be a high five, touch on the back, or her biggest one is eye contact. And that really does lift someone's spirits, knowing that not only are you listening, but they're receiving the message as well.
And then my second one is, speaking of those changes, we've seen a lot happen in this free agency so far. Can you just speak to the new dynamic that is the Washington Mystics, and what can people expect from y'all this season?
Well, one thing, obviously, that some people have kind of caught on to is our defense. I think we have a pretty big lineup. I want to say I'll probably be the shortest person in the lineup. I'm not super tall, but, so I'm really excited about that. Offensively, I think that you'll see a few different things, depending on when who's ready or what comes in and who makes the team and all things like that. I'm super excited about it, but more than anything, I think our defense is something that's going to look different than it has in the past.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Betnijah, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much. So I wanted to ask you, with regard to, playing under Coach Reeve, what was that like for you, just learning some of her tricks of the trade and some of her tips?
It's always great. It's a great group, and to be under her, someone who, with her experience, she's won at a variety of levels. So it's nice to hear what she has to say, to see her coaching style. I'm just, enjoying the experience.
And then you were called a vet as part of your introduction here. So what are some of the leadership traits that you were passing to the rest of the team?
Right now, just trying to do everything that I can, just for me, right now, that's being vocal. So trying to make sure that I'm just continuing to communicate, continue to talk, continuing to cheer everybody on. But then, when I am able to be a part of the non-contact stuff, just making sure I'm just giving, all the effort.
I appreciate it. Thank you.